So go ahead and stand on the tables if you can't see.
I should.
But when you guys are done, if you can clean, that would be great. It's just a bag. Please don't fall, dude.
I won't.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the thoracic region. All right. What we see here is this big vessel, right? That vessel is the superior vena cava. If we follow the superior vena cava, goes this way, it will bifurcate into these two large vessels. This is the left brachiocephalic vein. This is the right brachiocephalic vein. If we follow the brachiocephalic vein, it will split to here, and this is known as the jugular vein. And then this vein here is now the subclavian vein. Once it passes the first rib, in this case, once it's over here, once it's in this region, now it's the axillary vein. When we follow it this way, now this is the brachial vein. And then it will eventually go into here and go this way, but we'll stop it there. If you look over here, obviously you guys know this is the heart, and the heart itself has this little sac known as the pericardium. If you open it, you already see the auricles, right? This is the this is the pulmonary trunk. But what I want you to take a look at is this vessel. This, as you guys know, is the aorta, right? The aortic arch on the cat only has two vessels that are coming out of it. On the human, there are three. On the cat, there are two. The first vessel that comes out is this one. This is the brachiocephalic trunk. And look, there are three vessels coming out of it. This first vessel, right here, is the right subclavian artery. The second vessel, right here, is the left common carotid artery. The third vessel over here, the right common carotid artery. The third vessel here is the left common carotid artery. Do note that the common carotids will then split themselves into the internal and the external carotid arteries, right? Remember that running along the carotid artery is a nerve known as the vagus nerve, and is wrapped around something known as the carotid sheath, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we follow the left, and now the second branch that comes off of the aortic arch on the cat is the left subclavian artery. Follow the left subclavian. Once it passes the first rib, it then becomes this one here, and that is the axillary. And then from there, if we take a look here, that is the brachial artery. Okay, they really follow the same names of arteries and veins. On the exam, please put right or left artery or vein. Otherwise, I don't know if you know what you're talking about.
Like left axillary, right axillary?
Exactly, like left axillary or right axillary artery or vein. Okay? All right, so are you guys okay with this portion here?
Yeah.
All right, now if we go down here, you don't really see much. We got cat lungs, but I want to skip about the cat lungs, so I'll ask about human lungs. There is one more artery vessel. You want to see that? You see that big one on the side right there? Right? That?
Yeah.
That's the azygos, right? And the azygos is the what? Superior vena cava. Great. Now, you know that the thoracic cavity is separated from the abdominal cavity via what muscle? The diaphragm, and that's what this thing is, right? And then you know the diaphragm itself is innervated by this nerve, and that is the phrenic nerve right here, right? Now, when we take a breath, right, what happens is that the phrenic nerve will send a signal to the diaphragm. The diaphragm will contract, thereby pushing the organs a little bit downwards, creating more, increasing the volume in the thoracic cavity, thereby decreasing the pressure inside the thoracic cavity. So there's lower pressure here, higher pressure on the outside, air is going to enter. Okay? Remember that there are muscles in between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, and these muscles also help expand the ribs. We have some muscles that will attach to the first ribs, known as the scalene muscles. They will also help pull the ribs up, right, as we take a breath. When we exhale, diaphragm relaxes, so it goes back into a dome and pushes everything out. We got some muscles on the back that will attach to the ribs, known as the intercostal, known as the iliocostalis, right? And that will help tug down on the rib cage, so we can do that, right? A little more complicated, but that's good enough for you guys. Now let's go this way. Now we're in the abdominal region. no need to worry about foregut, midgut, and hindgut stuff. But that was last exam. We want the vasculature. So what we can see on this cat here, obviously, this big vessel here is the inferior vena cava. We also see this vessel that's not too well colored, but it's there. And this is the descending aorta. Now, since we look at a kidney, the kidney itself is enveloped with inside a sac, and this is the renal capsule. If we open the renal capsule, so if we open the kidney, it'll look something like that. This outer region is the renal cortex. This inner region is the renal medulla, right? If I were to pin the cat for the kidney, I won't do more than the cortex or the medulla, and probably this middle portion known as the.
Helix.
No, that's the sinus, right?
Well, I'm pointing at an actual structure.
Oh.
Ureter?
Ureter.
Oh, okay.
The pelvis would be over here,
What would the highlands be right there?
here and here,
And the renal sinus?
in this region technically.
Sinus.
Sinus. Okay? Alright, now if I follow this portion here, you see that vessel?
That's the renal
vein.
So this is the renal vein, and you also see the
artery.
renal artery. Now, interesting, coming off of the renal vein, you get to see this little vein. This is the left testicular vein. It's going to go down to the testicle. And look.
If we say gonadal, would it be wrong?
Yeah, I want you to say either testicle or ovary because you should be able to tell the difference by now. Okay. Now, you can actually see these two vessels. This is the left testicular artery and the left testicular vein, right? Now, if we follow this, if we go downwards, you get to see that at some point the aorta will bifurcate. It'll stop, right? It'll split. Cats do not have a common iliac artery, a common iliac, which means that this vessel is not the left common iliac artery. This is the left external iliac artery. This little one is the left internal iliac artery, and this other little one, the right internal iliac, and this is the right external iliac. This here is the right external iliac vein. Come this way. Sorry. We go this way. We now have, well, once they pass this region, now these are known as the femoral artery and vein. Do you see this one that's kind of running down like that? Right? This is the greater saphenous. If we follow I cut the muscle, so it should be fine. There we go. And you know cats do this anyway. Do you see that right there? Yep, that is the popliteal artery and vein. And if we follow the underside right here, you see red and blue. That would be the posterior tibial artery and vein there, right? If I flip it this way, you get to see these two, right? You get to see that. See that?
Yes.
Right? The anterior tibial artery and vein. See those? See the anterior tibial artery and vein? Okay? Alright. Now, is this male or female?
Male.
It's a male cat. So for a male cat, this part, this sac, is the scrotum. Note that the scrotum has layers, and these layers are homologous to layers found here, right? The outermost layer of the scrotum, right? Well, besides the skin, underneath that would be the dartos tunic, right? Underneath the dartos tunic would be the external spermatic fascia. Then we have the cremaster muscle, then the internal spermatic fascia, and then the tunica vaginalis, all the way back, all the way to the testes, right? Those layers are homologous. So the external spermatic fascia is homologous to the external oblique. The cremaster muscle is homologous to the internal oblique, and the intern spermatic fascia is homologous to the transversus abdominis. And that's because the testicles, did they develop out here? Yeah or no?
No.
No, they developed inside. Then they just descended and took with them a piece of that wall, right? Speaking of testes, this is a cat testicle. If you were to open it inside, you get to see, well, not much, but you can see two distinct structures on here. The top thing, you see right there, that top thing right there,
Epididymis.
that is the epididymis, which means that the middle portion that I'm holding onto is the testes itself. Do you see the thing that I'm grabbing onto right here? That is the spermatocord. And the spermatocord has the vas deferens, testicular artery, testicular nerve, testicular vein, and some lymph tissue. Okay? And this is called the spermatocord. Now, you can't really see it on this cat, but there will be a model that has it. The testicular artery is going to be wrapped around the mesh of veins. What was that called? Papilliform plexus. Now, the spermatocord enters the abdominal cavity via what canal? The inguinal canal. Great. If we follow that here, we get to see another structure. This thing here, that is the vas deferens. See, this is a cat vas deferens that is going behind the bladder. This is the bladder. It's going behind. See? Right there and right there. There and there. They're going behind. Which means that this tube you see here, that is the urethra. That's pretty much it for the cat. All right, let's do some other things. What?
Can